Dumelang, Sanbonani, Goeiemorgen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our program director, Mr. Tobile Lamati, allow me to acknowledge our MEC for Economic Development here in Gauteng. I think the province with possibilities, many possibilities, our honorable comrade Tasmin Motara. Allow me, Program Director, to also acknowledge among our midst esteemed delegations from BRICS states and invited countries, our social partners who are here, representatives of international and regional organizations. You are too many. I don't want to make a mistake in terms of protocol and mention others and leave others outside. Our senior officials from all the BRICS countries who have joined this session, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government of the people of the Republic of South Africa, it is indeed our great pleasure to take this, to take over actually the presidency of BRICS from the People's Republic of China for 12 months. And I think it is at this point where we are supposed to get a round of applause for taking over. Thank you so much. And recently, the coordinator of China's BRICS Affairs and Vice Foreign Minister attended the first BRICS Sherpa and So Sherpa meeting, which was held in Bela Bela in the province of Limpopo in South Africa, from the 1st and 2nd of February 2023. And I think that is where he formally handed over the gavel to South Africa. And thus the labor and employment stream takes the cue from this important event, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, I'm extremely proud to announce that the first employment and labor working group is actually among the first meetings of our country, which our country is hosting as we traverse this journey of improving the lives of our citizens. We would like to welcome delegations from fellow BRICS member countries to this first working group meeting, as well as to the BRICS Network of Labor Research Institutes meeting, which are both taking place simultaneously here in Johannesburg. And during this course of the 4 days, there are these two sessions that are taking place. So we want to actually accept the warm welcome by MEC Tasmin for being our host. And as a quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, our country's foreign policy approach is committed to extending the reach of BRICS beyond the 5 member states to include other states and intergovernmental bodies. BRICS is about friendship, partnerships, and collaborations, and it seeks to leave its mark in the new global order that we all feel must include Africa and the global south. We must recall that the South African presidency of BRICS is held under a broad theme, BRICS and Africa, partnership for mutually accelerated growth, sustainable development, and inclusive multilateralism. We are therefore pleased to receive our neighbors, namely Eswatini, Malawi, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, amongst us. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we are also delighted to have the representatives amongst us of the ILO, ISA, ARLAC, and other guests at this important meeting. The number of partners will increase when President Cyril Ramaphosa hosts the BRICS Summit in August 2023. We hope all our friends will join us again in future meetings and during the September BRICS Labor and Employment Ministers meeting. And very close to my heart, I take note of the 5 students, ladies and gentlemen, that we as the Department of Employment and Labor want to expose to issues of labor market and diplomacy. Our commitment to developing young people is critical for the future of our country and beyond. And the guests of the Deputy Minister are here with us for the learning experience, and I would like them to stand up so that our guests can see them. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather today, we are faced with a world grappling with multiple challenges, such as volatile geopolitics, socio-economic challenges, climate change, and many other things that make our world less predictable. In addition, the world faces a series of interrelated crises, from economic stagnation and joblessness to energy price increases and persistent poverty. Most notably, the COVID-19 pandemic has upended economies and brought to the fore the need for a more robust and sustainable approach to work and the economy itself. As our Foreign Minister, Her Excellency Menaledi Pandor, said, and I quote, "BRICS has the potential to provide the leadership necessary to strengthen multilateralism, bring about meaningful reform, and can also work together to drive a sustainable global economic recovery that benefits not only us but the broader global south," close quote. We as the employment and labor stream need to seize this moment and meaningfully contribute to the global economic recovery by providing balanced solutions for the future. We must look critically at how we can build sustainable enterprises, spur innovation, and enhance productivity while promoting labor rights and reducing decent work deficits. Our collective march to gain lost economic ground due to crisis should not come at the expense of the rights and welfare of workers. And instead, as articulated in the ILO's 2019 Centenary Declaration, a human-centered approach should serve as a compass to guide our efforts towards achieving economic recovery and growth. Again, ladies and gentlemen, and more than anyone else, BRICS is well positioned to lead this conversation. BRICS countries are home to over 40% of the world's population and account for over a quarter of the global economy. Therefore, we must work together to address the pressing issues facing our countries, including the creation of decent work, social protection, and the elimination of child labor. Also, I believe that we have a unique opportunity as member countries to create new and innovative policy environments that promotes innovation, skills development, social justice, and universal access to social protection, while simultaneously addressing pervasive low productivity, inequality, poor working conditions. South Africa presides over the labor and employment stream with an ambitious goal in mind of ensuring decent work, dignity, and respect for all. And that is, I think, the theme that frames our approach to all technical meetings and that of labor and employment ministers. We are keen to achieve this goal through the following priorities, but not limited to this. Among others, building sustainable enterprises, including new forms of employment and increasing productivity, promoting labor rights and decreasing decent work deficits in the context of recovery, universal social protection and ensuring minimum basic income, and promoting decent work by closing skills gap in the informal economy. And this, ladies and gentlemen, these priorities will form the basis of the technical meetings as we prepare a ministerial declaration to be adopted by our principals later in the year. And thus, the technical discussions in preparation for the LEM will be an important opportunity for us to discuss these interrelated themes and identify concrete steps that we can take to achieve our shared goals. I am confident that through our collective efforts, we can build a more just, equitable, and sustainable world of work. And I look forward to our discussions in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, this working group will provide us with a platform to exchange ideas and best practices for addressing these challenges. I do not doubt that we will leave this conference with a better understanding of the steps we must take to improve workers' lives in our countries. While pushing to attain decent work, one of our key priorities in the coming months will be to explore how we can build sustainable enterprises and enhance productivity across macroeconomic, sectoral, and enterprise levels. This requires us to think seriously about new forms of employment and consider the role of innovation and technology in promoting sustainable development. To eloquently discuss a topic critical and crucial to our countries and people, the relationship between productivity and decent work must be firmly established. Productivity and decent work are two sides of the same coin. And on the one hand, productivity is essential for economic growth and competitiveness. But on the other, decent work, including protecting workers' rights, is critical for social progress and human development. Unfortunately, in many of our countries, productivity is often achieved at the cost of decent work. As a result, we see too many cases of low productivity, poor working conditions, and the exploitation of workers. And this is unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to find ways to change this narrative. And that is why I'm so thrilled to see all of you here today as we work together to explore how we can optimize the relationship between productivity and decent work. And this means that we must create policy environments that can enhance and promote productivity in all enterprises and economic sectors. And to achieve this goal, we need to take a comprehensive approach that addresses pervasive low productivity and poor working conditions in general, while simultaneously attempting to develop a skilled workforce and productive economies. As a result, the South African presidency proposes the creation of a productivity ecosystem platform among the BRICS members. We plan to launch this initiative during the LAM later in the year. We also reach out to the ILO for support in developing and rolling out this program, Dr. Khubuyana. We hope that you help us in this regard. At the same time, we must also prioritize promoting labor rights and reducing decent work deficits in the context of economic recovery. The world of work is undergoing a profound transformation, and therefore we must work together to protect workers' rights and standards. Even as economies and employment markets change, the rights of workers should always be protected. So, employment and labor rights issues are the utmost importance of our economies and the well-being of our citizens. Let me, ladies and gentlemen, also remind you of the importance of the ILO's fundamental principles and rights at work, which serve as the foundation of decent work. These core conventions set out the fundamental rights of workers, including the right to form and join a trade union, the elimination of forced labor, and the abolition of child labor. Worker rights are the cornerstone of a fair, just, and prosperous society. They ensure that employees have access to safe working conditions, fair play and benefits, and the ability to form unions and negotiate for better treatment. These rights are essential for individual workers and the health and stability of the broader economy. Therefore, worker rights, productivity, and decent work are intrinsically linked. A happy worker is a productive worker. As BRIC countries, being some of the largest economies in the world, we have a special responsibility to lead the way in promoting and protecting worker rights. By implementing ILO conventions, we can demonstrate our commitment to a fairer, more equitable society and create sustainable and inclusive growth conditions. However, the reality is that many workers still face challenges in securing their rights. In many parts of the world, workers are denied basic rights, such as negotiating for better conditions or receiving fair pay for their labor. And these challenges are often exacerbated by globalization and the rise of many economic actors that easily exploit workers in countries with weaker protection systems. That is why BRICS countries must work together to promote and protect worker rights. By sharing our experiences and best practices, we can learn from each other and develop more robust, effective policies that ensure workers are treated fairly and equitably. Worker rights are not just a moral obligation, but a strategic imperative. Promoting and protecting worker rights can build stronger, more inclusive economies and create a better future for all our citizens. The importance of worker rights, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be overemphasized. It is our responsibility to ensure that workers have decent working conditions, fair wages, and protection against health and safety hazards. The ILO FPRW conventions provide a vital framework for achieving these goals. And as representatives of BRICS countries, it is up to us to take a leadership role in promoting and protecting these rights. As we chair the BRICS as South Africa, it is also our wish to see this partnership operationalizing, yes, the Durban call to action. Those who were in Durban, we need to operationalize the Durban call to action, which is actually an outcome of the 5th Global Conference on the Elimination of Child Labor, the one we hosted in South Africa in May 2022. We need to protect the most vulnerable amongst us. As we discuss these issues over the next few days, I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to think about how we can leverage the power of BRICS to drive progress and make a difference. We have a unique opportunity to collaborate and share best practices to help create a better future for our citizens. And in conclusion, and finally, ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to engage in meaningful discussions and develop actionable recommendations that will help shape the future of work in the BRICS countries. I want to also take this opportunity, DG, our program director, to thank you and thank all our invited guests and our BRICS member countries for being here today. And I hope you have an enjoyable and productive stay here in Johannesburg, Gauteng province of South Africa. Kia leboga. Thank you.